Hey there, if you're serious about how AI can actually make your life easier, you're in the right place. This tool turns powerful AI ideas into something practical, simple, and genuinely useful. No hype, no complexity, just smart tech that works.
Have you ever noticed how most people say they're bad at math? But the real problem is they were just taught it in the most boring way possible? Think about it. For years, learning math or coding usually meant sitting through long lectures, copying formulas, and hoping something eventually makes sense. But what if learning worked more like solving puzzles, where every step actually makes you think? Because recently I tried something that completely flips the way learning works, and honestly, it made me realize math and problem solving can actually be fun. So, in this video, I want to show you a tool that teaches math, science, and programming in a really different way. Instead of watching hours of lectures, you actually solve problems interactively, step by step. The platform is called Brilliant, and I've been exploring some of their lessons recently, so I thought it would be interesting to walk through how it works and why so many people love learning this way. And if you want to try it yourself, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get 30 days free and 20% off the annual plan. But first, let me show you why this is different from the way most of us learned growing up. Here's the problem with how most people learn technical subjects. You sit there watching someone explain something complicated and your brain goes into passive mode. You're listening, but you're not thinking. And the moment you try solving a problem yourself, suddenly everything feels confusing again. That's where Brilliant takes a completely different approach. Instead of throwing long explanations at you, it starts with a question or puzzle that you actually interact with. As you move through each step, the platform guides your thinking, so you slowly build the answer yourself. And weirdly enough, that process makes concepts stick way better. It feels less like studying and more like playing with ideas. Let me show you what I mean. One of the courses I tried explores things like probability and logical thinking, and instead of explaining formulas first, it presents you with a scenario. For example, you might be asked to figure out the probability of something happening in a puzzle-like situation. At first it looks simple, but then the platform guides you through small steps that make you rethink how you approach the problem. You click, adjust, experiment, and suddenly the solution becomes obvious. And the best part is that moment when your brain goes, wait, oh, I get it now. That's the type of learning experience Brilliant focuses on. Instead of memorizing rules, you actually discover how things work. Another thing that surprised me is how many topics they cover. Most people think it's just math. But there's actually a whole range of subjects. You can explore areas like programming and algorithmic thinking, where you learn how computers solve problems step by step. There are also science courses that explain things like circuits and how digital systems work, which is surprisingly helpful if you're interested in technology. And of course, there's a ton of math topics, from coordinate geometry and percentages to more advanced concepts. All of these lessons follow the same philosophy: interactive learning, where you actively participate in the process. So instead of watching someone solve problems, you become the person solving them. One thing I noticed after spending time with it is that the lessons feel incredibly well designed. And that's probably because the curriculum is created with input from educators from places like MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. But what really stands out isn't just the academic background. It's the clarity of the experience. Every lesson feels like a carefully designed mental challenge. You start with something simple, then slowly the complexity increases. Before you realize it, you've understood a concept that normally takes pages of explanation. And that's the magic of interactive learning. It keeps your brain engaged the entire time. What's cool is that Brilliant isn't just for students. It's designed for pretty much anyone who enjoys learning new things. If you're a student, it can help you understand difficult concepts in a way school sometimes doesn't. If you're someone working in tech or interested in programming, it's a great way to sharpen your logical thinking. And even if you're just curious about how things work, the platform makes exploring topics like math, science, and AI surprisingly addictive. They actually say it's built for people from ages 10 to 110, which honestly feels pretty accurate, because the experience really does feel like solving puzzles rather than studying. So if you've ever felt like math or technical subjects weren't for you, there's a good chance the real issue wasn't the subject. It was the way it was taught. Learning becomes a lot more enjoyable when you're actively involved in solving problems instead of just listening. And that's exactly what makes Brilliant so interesting. If you want to check it out, you can try it free for 30 days using the link in the description. And if you decide to continue, you'll also get 20% off the annual premium subscription. So if you enjoy learning through puzzles, logic, and interactive challenges, it's definitely worth exploring. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.